Hey, alright, so I'm going to answer the last 3 questions. Any stories to share about fans, scenes, regions from the crossover 1982 to 19... Alright. Stuff's falling over. From the 1982 to 1990 era. Well, crossover for me, not really. What the shitter. Alright, so, it's interesting because I realize these questions are being given to bands from all over that, bands I love and were some of my favorite bands back then, right? Yeah. I would have to say the Gilman Street was just such an amazing, collaboration of people in the scene putting together shows and just supporting bands. I remember Verbal Abuse. They were banned from the Gilman Street for because they I guess they like to drink beer and I don't know, maybe they caused trouble, stuff like that. I'm not really sure, but I remember hearing that Verbal Abuse was banned from the Gilman Street, and they were definitely a crossover band. For SUBVERT's history, the amount of crossover bands we played with were pretty few, really. I mean, mostly we played with full-on punk bands. In my memory, maybe Mark might remember clearer than I do, but besides Poison Idea, The Accused, Neurosis, Christ on Parade, Attitude Adjustment, and I know I'm forgetting some, like Dr. No, right? Dr. No. There were bands that were in that era too. I'm just remembering what I can. So, the Melvins. Fucking Melvins. Right? Yeah. Melvins rip. And, yeah, we all love the Melvins and loved the Melvins back then. No doubt about it. Even that we didn't really sound like the Melvins at all. Though, there were some slow parts that, I personally would have liked to play slower, and I was somebody in the band that pushed to have slower parts as often as possible that were fucking heavy, So, we would have been a slower rock band if it was, I don't know, anyway. Alright, we'll move on. Scenes. Yeah, the scenes that we really got to experience back then would have been, the Seattle scene was interesting because the shows that we played up there was a lot of different bands, but it was a lot of the same bands. So we played with the Gits, the Tree People, Christ on a Crutch, which was anyway, Christ on the Crutch rock, good band, great band. Officer Down, and you know, like various. Oh, wait, what was the band? Fuck. All right. I didn't take notes, so bear with me. Yeah. Washington Hall. So we didn't really go beyond all ages. So SUBVERT, we pretty much only played all ages shows. If we played any bar shows, it was maybe 1 or 2 when I was in the band. I don't even know for sure if we did any that were just bar shows. There was one in Los Angeles that I want to say was actually it was, well, the album was supposed to come out on Nemesis Records, and we played down there. So this is with Jerry on bass too. So Mark you wouldn't remember this, but I think that might have been a bar, like the only bar show we ever played. It may have been all ages, if you could, you know, if, I don't know, maybe you had to stand to the side and watch the show, and then people could go into the bar and buy drinks if they wanted to. I'm not sure. Alright, let's see. What was your favorite place to play? Which club do you miss the most? You know, Community World Theater was definitely, you know, timing and exactly, like, you know, location and everything that Community World Theater represented. You know, I mean, everything about it. It really was like a large group of musicians and artists and just music lovers that put on really great shows. And it was really one of the first in the area to do that to that extent. There were some in Seattle, but not like Community World Theater. And you guys know what I'm talking about. That went there. Sorry, I've been drinking beer, and this is fun at this point. Being a little buzzed and talking about the past. Punk rock history, rock and roll history. Okay, so do you think, I've been waiting for this one, do you think that crossover between punk and metal is still relevant today?